What's going on, everyone? Welcome back here to the WCG New York Comic Con stream. Excuse me.
Exactly.
I'm Golden Boy of TW, and joining me right now is Jason Brice from Plastic Piranha. But before we get into that, real quick, I just want to break down the schedule that we are going to have for this day here. As we are going to have, as you know earlier, we had Shifty Look. They just came out here, and we actually had a great chance to speak with Corey from there. Right now, we're going to be talking about a game that I'm really excited about, which is Rekoil. That's going to actually happen for, I would say, about a good hour. Hopefully, you know, we get some good gameplay in there as well. And next, we have World of Tanks. We have Marvel Heroes, Hawken. We have a cosplay contest. We're going to talk about some Crossfire. And on top of that, we're going to have some show floor coverage. So lots of amazing content here at the WCG New York Comic Con stream. Of course, make sure that you guys, support the people that support what we do here. The Samsung Notebook Series 7 Gamer. You guys saw the advertisements there. It's an awesome laptop. Make sure you go ahead and check that out. Without further ado, though, let us introduce this man once again, Jason Brice from Plastic Piranha. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm great. It's just such a pleasure to be here, being in New York City. The energy here, the people here, there's really no place quite like New York City. So, and then you look around and you see all the people in Comic-Con. It's just like this is where you want to go, to die and go to heaven, that you think this is it. So,
yep, and it's only Friday.
Yeah, no doubt.
So we have Rekoil, which is a new first-person shooter created by you guys. It's right now in alpha.
Well,
right?
yeah, we're just starting our first little bit of beta. I mean, the build is right on the edge of alpha, going right into early beta. Okay. We've let in I'd say about 500 people into the build at this point. We're slowly rolling it out so that we can, make sure that everything's stable, working. Yeah. The build's got a long way to go. We really think that we're, a couple months away. We're planning on a third week of January release at this point.
Wow, that's awesome.
And, we'd probably be ready a little bit sooner than that, but we figured, with Steam's winter sales and with some of the other games that are coming out, that's the perfect time for us. And so we're dedicating all of our resources to third week of January. You'll start hearing some pre-order information here shortly. But really, we're focused on our green lighting efforts. Right. We're focused on our beta efforts and everything like that. So, we're just getting into it, and we expect to, have a lot of good responses, but we also expect to see some issues with the game that we want to tweak and fix as we go along. And I think that's the natural progression. I mean, so often you hear beta nowadays, and you get this finished product, and the game comes out 5 days later. Well, how is that actually a beta? You know what I mean? So. Mm-hmm. We plan on taking a couple months and really dialing this in, listening to the community, and really taking the feedback and making the best possible game that we can. I mean, with the things that we're talking about doing with mod tools, with the esport friendly game,
which we'll get into, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. And just having a great fundamental core game. It takes time to get that stuff right, and we're not a huge team. I mean, we're really about 21, 22 guys at any one given time, and so given that we don't have the resources of, say, a 400-person studio or that type of thing, but what we've done with the resources we have is absolutely fantastic. And I think when we get into the gameplay stuff here in just a second, you'll really start to see that how much we've been able to accomplish. So,
all right, well, we're going to talk about a lot of different things here, but let's jump into the game as it is. Well, actually, no, we have a little bit more time because they're preparing to serve. We're going to have an awesome game going on for you guys to check out here. But you mentioned esports aspect, but before I get into that, I want to talk about the fact that this game is not no free-to-play game.
Yeah.
It's a $15 game. I was reading a great article. I'm trying to remember the site it was on, but it was talking about the model that you guys were approaching about it. Obviously, the free-to-play market has blown up, but you guys are like, no, we think that if we give you guys a quality product with mod tools, all these different things, $15 is a reasonable price.
Yeah, I mean, $15 is right about where we think it's going to be. There's no co-op, there's no single player. It's multiplayer only, multiplayer centric. So, I mean, given all those factors, we think that that's the perfect, price point. Plus, we had originally announced to do 10 maps when we released the game. And now we're going to basically do 14 to 15 upon launch. I mean, some of them might be delayed a couple of days, but we're going to release it as free content, free updates to everybody. We want to see, people embrace what we're doing, and by giving people a great core game with a lot of value to it is really a great idea. On top of that, the mod tools, those will be ready day one. They're not going to be ready in this early version of the beta. Even though the tools are done, we're not releasing them fully yet to everyone because there's still a couple things we're going to work on. But So it's really interesting to see how this is all going to play out. I mean,
sure. I agree. Now let's actually go ahead and hop in because we got some gameplay here. Now go ahead and introduce our player, just so everyone knows.
Yeah, he's kind of side off camera. You can lean in and say hello a little bit there. You see his head over the monitor there. But yeah, Zach Lehman is our producer on Rekoil, and he's absolutely fantastic. He's kept he's the glue to the project, essentially, keeping us all together, and he's here playing on the server that's actually located in New York.
There you go. He got a wave off.
So,
all right, let's go ahead and hop into the game because I want to start showing the stream people what we're looking at here. All right, we got an AK-47, a typical gun in all first-person shooters, but it's old reliable.
Yes, old reliable.
What's going on here?
Extremely deadly. This is a map called Sawmill. This is one of our smaller arena maps. This is kind of based, the intention here was 3v3, 5v5, type setup. It's it could be one of those kind of maps that's like really crazy with 32 people on it. But with about 10 at tops, I think it's it's one of those maps that people will absolutely love to play. When we play and test in the office, it's actually one of our favorites because there's a few of us running around wanting to test things, and it's easy to kill people and easy to keep the action up. So
for sure,
we've kind of divided our maps up into small, medium, large, and this falls into the small category. But it's a heck of a lot of fun. We were just at a conference down in Orlando and had some guys from the military playing, and you should have seen the action going on the map. It was absolutely incredible to see them, getting tactics together and that type of thing.
And it keeps true to what a shooter is. You know what I mean? It's this isn't a game with no fluff. It's a shooter to the core. And all the basics. If you're a person that plays games like Counter-Strike or something like that really appreciate the core shooter, this is the kind of game for you. Yeah, I mean, we kind of took some flack on our trailer for having the purest shooter phrase, but that's really exactly what it is. I mean, there's no, it's just your gun. You got a nade or two, but it really relies on you being a good shooter and having the ability to play smart and not do stupid things when you're out there. I mean, you can still pub like crazy and run out and have fun, throw nades and cook them and try to kill people while you're cooking them, whatever you want to do. But, it really rewards the player who takes time and thinks about how they're going, through the maps and how they're playing it, So, and it really relies upon you having a good, clean shot when you're in ADS mode. The hit mode, is great. You can get in close quarters battles and knock people down. But you're more penalized by having, the tendency to rely on your hip fire and everything. So yeah. So let's dive into this mod tools thing real fast. So because you said that they're not going to be available, but obviously it is something that you guys are very passionate about. Because we have seen a lot of first-person shooters out there not provide those tools for the community, which is something that a lot of people despise. They want to be able to modify it. What kind of things can you do with the mod tools, just so for those who may be console gamers that don't know?
It'll be very similar to the way that COD 4 was set up in the respect that you'll have the ability to change game types, or the ability to add your own game types, I should say. The core game will remain uneditable. The maps themselves will remain in a place where you won't be able to actually touch them and change the inner workings of the game. But you'll be able to add maps, you'll be able to add characters, you'll be able to add weapons, you'll be able to script game types. You can change it all together. You can make your own single-player version of this if you wanted to.
That's awesome.
I think for us, the ability to see different ideas and different ways to set things up, if they're match modes or that type of thing, it'd be great to see, what's going to come out of it. I know a lot of the leagues, in COD 4, they took those things and they changed their configs to work just for the particular league that they were running and that type of thing. That being said, we plan on releasing a league mode that has the countdown timers, the ready up modes, all that kind of stuff, to make things, good for people coming out. But you should be able to do, if you wanted to make the paintball mod, you could do the paintball mod. If you wanted to do the shooting marshmallow mod, it does, whatever it is, you'll have the ability to do it. I think that putting those tools in people's hands is just giving them the keys to the kingdom to be extremely creative.
That's amazing.
And a lot of people ask, what's different? You're using Unreal 3. Why can't we just use UDK and we can do our own thing? Well, UDK is UDK. With Unreal 3, you have extra added options, scripting options that allow you to get deeper and actually create your own things that can, in terms of game types and that type of thing. But but we're also releasing all of our assets on top of this. So, when you're talking about over 9,000 assets that are going to be available to you to build maps and that type of thing, it gives you a great starting point to, unleash your creative, abilities.
Juices.
Yeah.
And now this game, and I like the mentality, the way that they're, way you guys are approaching, is, the whole thing with, like, this is your game, you bought it, you go out there and do what you feel you could do with it. Like, if you want to be able to create your own custom game modes, you can. Now, this is something that I know a lot of people wonder about, because we've been hearing it happen a lot lately. It's been a buzzword, esports. Esports has been a buzzword in the video game industry as of late. We've seen very popular developers approach this. Right now, we know that the League of Legends Worlds are going on.
Yep.
A lot of craziness.
The StarCraft as well, and Dota.
We have StarCraft here. I mean, this is an esports event as well. You can go ahead and check out the other stream while you're watching this one, of course, that has, Crossfire, World of Tanks, all that stuff. Now, the thing is, esports being so popular now, you guys have a focus on this, because in the article I read, esports was mentioned in there.
Oh, yeah.
What are some of the ambitions for Plastic Piranha on this?
Well, first of all, we're going to have a CM who's dedicated specifically just to doing esports. So, we'll have Carrie's already working as one of our CMs, but we're going to bring in actually a couple more to deal. We really think the community is the most important thing for us to be a part of. So having the people to take care of and listen to the community at a whole, and then having someone dedicated to just dealing with esport tournaments, dealing with the different types of things that are out there for the esport community. That being said, we're also doing a full source integration of Twitch TV into our build, so you'll be able to go right into the menus, and instead of using XSplit and everything else to broadcast, you'll be able to go right ahead and just go right into it. Not only that, we're also going to be adding in an IRC channel as well, which basically allows you to do it the old-fashioned way, where you went in and we're looking for matches and that type of thing. So. The Twitch TV support, being able to broadcast right from within the engine and from within the menu of the game, going on IRC from within the game and that type of thing. That it's just, we think having those options are great tools that will help people to work with esports and whatnot. In game, we're having spectator mode. You will be able to follow players and be able to for security purposes, making sure people aren't hacking, that type of thing.
Of
Everyone, that's the most important thing for people to know, is that they can, go ahead and do that. So
I like the side conversation. The side, he just called him Daddy.
Yeah,
I know Daddy.
We just sent out about 500 emails last night, letting people in onto this new build this morning. And so some people are coming in and just joining for the first time. So there's obviously going to be questions and that type of thing on how to do things.
Speaking of that, by the way, you had mentioned before the Steam Greenlight that you guys are currently in right now. I know that you and I spoke yesterday. You said that Rekoil is sitting at like a couple thousand hefty votes there.
We're at about 30,000 votes at this point.
And with that, you can get into the beta. Could you explain that to me?
Well, yeah. If you go ahead and go to our Steam Greenlight page and you go ahead and take a vote, upvoting us for Greenlight.
Okay.
Also favoriting us on Greenlight. Take a screenshot of that. Send it to beta@rekoil.com.
Okay.
And we will get you right into the beta program. Right now, there's several thousand emails that we need to tend to. They're going to be slowly rolling out over between now and probably the end of the weekend, and it actually could go another couple days beyond that. But as you vote in and add your name into the bunch, you're going to get selected to this early group of beta access. I mean, we will eventually open it up probably in a couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, to a greater audience and that type of thing. But we're really trying to push our greenlighting efforts and get that going. So this distribution for our game is important. We want to make sure that we're on Steam, and we're on about 7 other platforms that we'll be distributing on, which we'll announce shortly. But Steam is also another one we really want to make sure that we do, because we all have huge friends lists and that types of things that we want to play play with our friends. So
but now getting into where because you guys mentioned other platforms, obviously console gaming would come up in here. Would you see Rekoil as a potential game that could release on console? Is that something that could happen, or is it just not in the pipeline yet?
It definitely can happen. When we first came out and announced what we were doing, we tried to stay away from it and just wanted to be PC focused, and we're still 150% PC focused,
Of course.
But we are a small developer, and revenue stream is something that is important to keep us a small company together. And the only way we can proceed to make, keep the team together is to explore possibilities and explore options for us to keep the game going. So, we don't want to stop here. We have a number of different ideas for expanding Rekoil, making it even better. And doing future iterations of it. But on top of that, we have other game modes or game ideas that we want to do, we're real hopeful that this will give us an opportunity to get that out there and then have the ability to do that.
And that's where the community can come into play, where they can help and create new game types and make a unique experience. Create overlays and be able to show you health bars like they did for COD 4 Pro Mod. For like spectator-friendly streams, and I think that truly is something that's awesome. You don't see a lot of developers embrace that. It's almost as if people are afraid of the creativity of others.
Yeah.
It's really refreshing to see you guys embrace this. Now we're looking at some gameplay here, obviously, guys. What's this map that we're looking at here?
This map is called Riverside, and
Riverside.
This is a mid-sized map, I would say. I mean, it's gives you a few options to get up and down the map, but it's basically, a straight ahead, almost football field like dimension of a killing stage, essentially.
Yeah.
So, but I really like it. I like the way that it works.
And
with the water.
I see that he's using. I'm assuming that this is going to be like some variation of the P90.
That's correct. That's exactly what it is.
How would attachments work? Like, are you guys going to be doing different attachments for the guns, or is it going to be like what the gun is, and that's what's
well, right now it's what the gun is, and that's what you're getting.
Okay.
And so this is something that we may expand upon as we go. But for the core game, we feel that this addresses a number of different things. It makes it a little bit easier on a smaller developer not to have a ton of things to get through. I mean, if we put every feature in there that we'd want to do, we'd probably need a team of at least 80, 90 people to do it all. You know? So. But at the same token, it keeps the game balanced. You know what I mean? Which is something that we're really focused on. I mean, because how often do you get these free-to-play games that, quite frankly, are pay-to-win games? I mean, and it's like I can buy the best weapon and I'm gonna dominate this game because I've got the best weapon and because I was able to spend $30 buying the best weapon or whatever it may be.
Of course.
This is day one. Every single weapon out there, you know what I mean? It's simple and straightforward, keeps people, gives them the ability to, select whatever weapon they want and still feel like they're not going to be just rolled over because they're not, level 9,700 or whatever it could be, you know what I mean?
Of course.
So that being said, we are going to do, some type of, not perks per se, but we're going to do some items that that are stat based and just showing people your progressions and that type of thing. So those will be a web based situation most likely.
You can obviously see some of the balancing here. The LMG, very powerful gun with lots of ammunition, but the recoil, pun intended, is obviously an issue there as he was trying to control the gun. I'm actually really enjoying the different kinds of weapons that you guys have because, there are staples in gaming, but you guys have definitely a different feel for every weapon. And if you're good at something, like, for example, the way he's, like, running around the map here and just owning with his LMG right now, that's something where it's like, it's just refreshing to see. You're going to see a bunch of people running around here with the same weapon like we see in other games. You can try out different guns and have some good success with it. I did see – now, balancing obviously is going to be something you guys are approaching, though, right? With a fine-tooth comb.
Being in beta and letting a ton of people in, really helps that balancing effort. We spent a good amount of time working with the guys at combat testing, and that takes us up to this point, and then letting it loose to the public is the next step in developing and balancing a game. We think that just putting a game out there that hasn't gone through these proper steps is silly because then you're going to end up with something that may or may not work for the people at large. So, we're just...
Oh, nice snipe.
Yep, he's getting it now. He's finding his groove.
I just had to point that one out there. It was a good shot. And he's trailing this guy, not being able to find him.
Uh-oh, now he might have gotten.
Oh no,
there.
never mind. I thought did that guy run up on him? That was his own teammate. All right, let's see if he's going to be able to hit this snipe here. As he was killed. He was sniped. Well, you know what we should do while we're going about this, we should see if we could do a shoutcast, old-fashioned.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I think they're going to probably. Looks like we got a map switch here going.
Map switch with the GGs.
And what we'll do is we'll get into the. Let's do City Park, Zach, if we could. And,
the City Park map is very nice.
Yeah, it's one of our larger maps, and I think it's one of those. It's so vertical. I mean, you start down at the bottom. There's one team starts up high, one team starts down in the subway station essentially, and works their way up to the top areas. And there's this sort of center ground, which becomes this kind of like almost a king of the hill type area, which I absolutely love.
I love the confrontations that you can have in the middle of the like the maps. I love those kinds of like choke point situations that you can create. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, having options to get up and down are very important. I mean, this map, because it's large but has this central focused area around the statue, it makes it interesting because they can be choke points. The cool thing about this is there's sort of a moat that runs around this park below. And can you look to your right and show them the moat real quick down there? And so this gives us another option to get up and down around the park, which is, I mean, I think
movement's always important.
Movement is very important.
Always want to make sure you have different ways for players to be able to move around the map. One too many times you see games that they just release, like real simple kinds of things for you to do, like 3 lanes or something like that with no, vertical element whatsoever. So that's pretty cool to see that you guys have multiple ways for attacking a situation.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I learned by working with Dice so much on the 2142 maps that I did, is just how to properly set up a map so that it doesn't become too choky in one area, so that it becomes fluid and actually at the same time plays in your face and a lot of fun. I mean, it can suck sometimes to have a big map where you just have a group of people in one area and then nothing else happens on the rest of the map. And and this map, the design, the way that it works is it forces people to get up and down. Yeah. Especially in a capture the flag, which we're actually calling capture the briefcase type of situation. You got one on one side.
This guy's about to sniper over here.
Yeah, he's Jude Law or whatever it is, enemy at the gate style right now. So. But yeah, this is a map that when we do play test on this one, it could be Michael and I just in there testing something out, and we'll break out the sniper rifle and do these one-on-one sniper battles that are amazing. But in this particular build, it's not enabled, but all the bus stop glass, all the cars you see in the level down at the bottom, there's going to be a whole series of destructible items that are in there, and we're just working on server replication to get those in. But the NVIDIA PhysX stuff with the Apex stuff will be full force on this. He is just owning people right now. He's in the zone.
Well, let's see what we got here. So he's hanging out on the back here. He's going to try and throw his grenade down, see if he can hit someone from a mile away. If he gets his kill, I'm going to kill myself. All right, he did not, but that's very good here. But he is just running out of ammo. He's going to be able to reload now. And let's see if he's going to be able to hit someone coming up the hill here, finding someone. Oh, with the shot on Bricktop.
Zach, can you show him the double zoom? So we actually have. So there's a single zoom right there. There we go. We go into even further zoom mode.
Oh, that guy just got peeled. Okay, he's done.
You have 2 layers of zoom. One is 4x, one is 8x, or is it 2 and 4x? I can't remember.
Why are you standing there, bro? Move. Zach is killing it right now. He's finding people inside of the park. Let's see if he's going to be able to hit some people here. He's having a hard time getting this guy. This guy is like juking him lovely. He doesn't even know he's getting shot at. Team sniper over there. Josh Peckler doesn't like your activity, Zach. he does not whatsoever. But we're seeing here now as I'm loving this. I'm just, we don't see too many maps that we see maps that kind of reward sniper gameplay, but at the same time, I like the fact that if I'm a kind of guy who uses the, like an assault rifle, just like we saw right there, I am going to be able to get up close on him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because of the way that the map is designed. But that's some good stuff there. In any case, his teammates getting taken out. He got dropped as well by Anaconda.
Well, I think what's fun here is you're seeing the people talking about, oh, Zach, I see your tent with the sniper rifle. That that's the kind of engaging that makes some of these games so much fun. So,
yeah, of course.
To be able to people like to smack talk. I mean, that
and you
gets
don't
in there.
see that anymore, right?
No.
Because it always happens like after the game or before the game, and that's why PC games have always been awesome, because you're able to just talk that smack mid-game, or if you want to insult someone. Either way.
Which is my method, my preferred method. But I rage quit just like the rest of them. You know what I mean? I've even rage quit on my own game.
So, talking about rage quitting, by the way, sniper shoot marshmallows. Talking about rage quitting, do you guys have any plans for? Obviously, you have plans for servers,
yes,
and whatnot, ranking and all that stuff. What are the plans there?
Yeah, I mean that's probably the last thing that if we get into will be done, and that's what I meant about talking about the stat-based stuff.
Okay.
Just adding another layer of immersion and a way to integrate people. Wanting to keep coming back and playing and really have something to work for. You know what I mean? So in this case, I think the ranks that if we add them in will be stat-based and not, they won't reward you with any kind of weapon or anything like that. You might be able to, do something with the leaderboard or that type of thing. But we really want to, have this global leaderboard, kind of reminiscent of the old the way the Battlefield does their setup. I mean, there's something about having that global community, being able to compare each other to the guy from around the world and that type of thing. It really kind of brings the global community together. So that's what we're kind of hoping to do.
And with obviously you guys' approach of being the purest shooter out there, what are the some of the plans as far as like? I'm assuming you're going to avoid the pitfalls that games like Call of Duty have created with things like perks and whatnot. It's just going to be pure your gun, and how awesome you are against your opponent.
Yeah, I mean that's the idea. I mean there's no need to introduce all that. I mean one of the things that we didn't like about some of the things that we were seeing were some of these games turning into third-person shooters, and what I mean by that is sitting in a corner like Zach was doing, for example, and sniping people up, and then all of a sudden he gets a kill streak that allows him to launch dogs or a helicopter or that type of thing. I mean, how many times have you run around, rounded the corner, and you get shot in the head, not from the guy standing, behind you, but it's from the helicopter behind you, or the dog will come up and bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that we don't want to do. If you're going to die, you're going to die at the hands of somebody who had you in their sights or had a grenade that was perfectly timed in place and going to drop you. And so, to us, that's the most important thing, is just making sure that it's fun in that regard. I mean, because it does take away the fun. I mean, it takes away skill too. I mean, a high score of 27 and 10 doesn't mean anything if it's nothing but your helicopter doing 10 or 12 of those kills. I mean, so it's interesting, to see that stuff. I mean, they're cool advancements, and don't get me wrong, I love the technology behind all of that. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but it becomes frustrating when you want to play a shooter and really make it feel balanced, because that stuff takes away from balance. I mean, all the pro leagues and that type of thing take them out. The people that are pubbing, they're bitch about them because they're in there, and we don't want that. We just want to have a good, clean, pure shooter, and that's the reasoning behind
just
what we're
something
doing.
To the core, and I can respect that.
Yo, without a doubt.
As a guy who enjoys the core shooter,
yep.
Even though I've pretty much made my name on games like Call of Duty, at the same time I still love the fact that in competitive rules on console, what we do, it's just brought down to the bare basics, where it's like you and your gun, not as much emphasis on things like perks and attachments and and all that stuff. It's just you and your gun, and I like that. Hopefully we see more games kind of take that same approach and embrace it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, most people, most game companies right now, they have a bottom line to worry about. They have they want to sell as much DLC as they can and keep everything going and doing that type of thing. But keeping the game open to players and having the tools available to players. I mean, these are the types of things that are that will help us build a foundation to a great community, and that's what is the most important thing here. Is not mod tools, it's not Rekoil, it's everyone coming together as a whole, and getting behind a game that's a heck of a lot of fun and can be great in pub servers, can be great in pro servers.
however you want to do it, you know. So I mean, there's literally a ton of options, you know, with what we're doing here.
That's
so,
awesome. And options is what makes the world go round. You know what I mean? I'm really pumped to see all the things about Rekoil. So when you have aspirations as far as the esports aspect is concerned, where do you see this going? Have you spoken to anyone from the major leagues out there?
We're just getting started. The idea was to get the product in good enough shape that we can go ahead and demonstrate what we can do in the esport environment. We are doing a LAN with League of Legends and StarCraft 2 tournament in Austin in the second week of November. I forget the exact dates.
Okay.
And we're going to be the third featured game on that, and
nice.
have a full stream and showing a couple, probably 4 teams, you know, battling it out to you know, for prizes and some money. But you know, that we really want to just get behind it and get into as many environments as we can where Rekoil can be featured in an esport environment. Personally, I'd like to see us like what Dota did last year and have a huge theater with 5,000 people and, you know, people wanting to see the game in that type of environment. That, when we were at PAX, we saw that and we were like, this is just the wave of the future in terms of how people are going to go about looking at games. And you know, it's not going to be able to happen with every game. I think that, you know, some are going to be made for it, some are not going to be made for it. But we definitely envision our game to be one that will fit right in. You know, the game types will support, you know, great gameplay and great esport play. You know, I think Search and Destroy will probably be the best example of that, you know. So,
but let me ask you this real quick, though, before you go on. Have you guys embraced some of the top players in FPS games, like in PC or something like that, and spoken to them, or how has that been?
Yeah, and that's what we're reaching out to some of the top clans and gaming teams for this first event and bringing them on. But yes, the idea is to get everybody from, you know, ESEA down to CSN or Beyond Gaming, everybody involved. And literally try to promote this thing from the ground up and really, you know, get people behind it.
Start from that grassroots location.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to take. I mean, we don't have $5 million to market this thing. I mean, it's going to take a grassroots effort and getting a community behind what's going on.
You guys out there that are interested in this stuff. Now, let's go ahead. We have some more gameplay before we close this out here. I think Zach is in a game right now.
He's back in Riverside.
He's back in Riverside, crushing
playing some death matches. What it's looking like. So.
All right. So hopefully the stream guys back there bring us in. There we go. No sniper rifle. He's gonna have that LMG doing work out there, trying to peel some faces off, or actually I should say, lure them with bullets. This is and you're seeing right here the recoil that he has to deal with as he gets picked off. Yeah. I think that's something that, you know, obviously, look at that hip fire. And that's a real steady hip fire, I must say.
Yeah, I mean, the shot rotation, you know, currently is somewhat randomized, but we're going to work on getting those to be set patterns so that, you know, the guys who are esport players and really, you know, can become familiar with it and so that it works with the way they're used to playing. So, but yeah.
And just to throw this out there, once again, you see it on the bottom right of your screen. It says nothing is final, closed beta. Just keep that in mind, because what you're seeing right here is not a finished product. There's still, and you know, Plastic Piranha, you guys know that there's still plenty of stuff to do here.
Yeah.
And the work is not done. And even when the game comes out, the work is still not done, because there's always rebalancing issues. You know, someone figures something out that they shouldn't have, you know, things like that.
Well, and then that's just it. I mean, some of the early showings that we had, quite frankly, you know, people talked about animations. They talked about, you know, look of some of the other assets in the game. And we're already listening. I mean, the animations, we're already retweaking and adding more as we go, and it gets better and better every day. Yeah. Characters that you see here, we're still working on and are not even close to being final. And that's the cool thing about having, you know, 3 months to get this thing dialed in. As you can see, the core gameplay is there, you know, and works just fine. But now we can focus on the little things to get the tiny details in and make this game something that everybody wants to play, you know.
Of course. And at $15 a pop, you really can't complain, you know what I mean? You're getting a quality product when it does finally come out, you know. Yeah. You're going to get a quality product that's fun, it's entertaining, and it's, like you said, true to the core of what it is to be a fan of first-person shooters. You know, I tweeted out there before we did the interview, if you're a fan of first-person shooters, check this out.
Yep.
Because, and I had a good conversation with a friend of mine a while ago that, the market is saturated with the same games and the same sequels over and over and over again.
Yep.
And granted, some games, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's always good to see something different, and you don't see that a lot. And if it does come out, it gets buried by all the different games.
Yep.
That it gets released in a terrible launch window. And you guys picked a great spot with January
Yep.
of next year,
Yep.
Because you will be able to really shine, especially on something like Steam with the Greenlight program, correct?
Yeah, exactly. And again, thank you for the opportunity for being here, because it allows us to get our messaging out, allows people to take a look at the game.
Of course.
And it allows us to talk about, the green light opportunities that we have. I mean, if you guys want to get in on the beta and play with the other people that you're seeing here,
That's right.
just go ahead and go to our Steam green light page and look for Rekoil. It's under the shooter category. Upvote the game, add it as your favorite, take a screenshot of that and send it to beta@recoil.com. I'll say it again, beta@recoil.com, and we'll get you in the beta. We're starting to let those invites go out full force right now. And
when you're playing the beta, give Plastic Piranha your feedback,
yes,
so that this way they can say, all right, this is something that we can improve, because it's a small team.
Yeah.
And you guys are listening to every single bit of information that the community is sending you. How many times has a first-person shooter come out done by a big company, big organization, and you give them feedback, you'd post on their forums, and they're like, yeah, definitely. And, they just ignore you. You guys are actually going to listen and respond, correct?
Yeah. Well, of course. And we are, like I said, we're already responding. I mean, by going ahead and taking early, topics about the game and comments about the game and already addressing those. I mean, we're going to continue to do this as we go through beta and, like you said, beyond launch. I mean, we care an awful lot, and I think that's, the one thing that we can offer that a lot of other studios can't, is that we're going to put the attention on you, the consumer, you, the game player, because you are the ones who are going to make this community. You know what I mean? So,
and that's awesome.
There's nothing better than that. And my mom always told me, customer service is king. Take care. If you don't have customers
Take care
that are
of your
happy,
customers.
you ain't got nothing.
100%. Well, Jason, I'd like to thank you so much for your time.
It is so much a pleasure.
This was awesome. I'm a fan of Rekoil. Hopefully, you guys are too. Any Twitters where you guys can go ahead and hit you up at Rekoil the game? I believe?
We're at Rekoil the game on Twitter. And,
okay, at Rekoil the game.
Yeah, please add us, and we'll be on tomorrow here from New York City, 11 Eastern time, and Sunday 10 a.m. Eastern time. So
all right,
we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow and Sunday.
Well, thank you, Jason, once again. Guys, make sure you stick around. We're going to have an interview with some of the guys from wargaming.net for World of Tanks. So make sure you don't go anywhere. This is WCG's New York Comic-Con coverage. My name is Alex Goldenboy Mendez. We'll be right back. Hopefully you enjoyed this presentation of Rekoil, and we'll see you in a few.
Great. Thank you.